always talked about their talent, Alabama's talent offensively. But can you talk a little bit about their technique? You mentioned blocking and tackling. Can you just talk about how technically sound they are?
Well, they're real sound in that, and their conditioning is obviously excellent also. Their strength conditioning program is probably as good as anybody in the country. Ours is very good also. Craig Fitzgerald and our staff do a super job here. But conditioning, blocking, tackling, playing smart, don't give your opponents much of anything. I think their turnover margin, they're first in the conference also, I believe. They got a bunch of interceptions. They got 11 of those and so forth. But just really playing real smart. Don't give your opponents much at all.
Do you think there will be a noticeable difference in that they're coming off 2 hard-fought games against very physical games, whereas you're coming off of a rested week and ready? Would that make a difference at all?
I doubt it. We hope so, but we doubt it. You don't sneak up on a team like Alabama with the tradition of that school, their coach, the success he's had in the past. The coaching staff is a veteran bunch of guys. And they really do have the ability to go one game at a time and not get full of themselves after wins. So they've got a track record that a big win does not affect them the next week.
Do you feel like you need more from Cliff Matthews? As how has he played through 4 games?
Cliff's played pretty well. Like he said the other day, I think I should be playing better too. I should be making more plays. He's wearing that brace on his shoulder that the trainer's going to loosen it up a little bit so he can get a little bit more mobility, grabbing guys and so forth. He's sort of been hampered down a little bit with that brace he's worn. So hopefully that's going to free him up to get his hands going and so forth.
Is he getting more attention with Eric gone? Has that been part of the issue?
Yeah, I don't think so. I just think we've been playing against a good line the last week that blocked about all of our guys pretty well, actually. And but Cliff's he's playing well. He's getting pressure on the quarterback most of the time.
Coach, how was your bye week? Were you impressed with what you saw yesterday when you guys came back to practice?
With our team, yeah, we were okay. Yeah, we were fine. Yeah, we've the game 2 weeks ago is history. We've got it out of our system. Hopefully we can learn from it. Hopefully we've learned something from that game. And again, our goals this week are to play better, try to improve as a team. If we play an excellent game and we don't win it, we'll be ready for the next one. And again, that's all we can tell our players is let's go play the best we can, and then we'll see where we are. So that's the goal this week. We don't have a great deal of pressure on our guys except to play the best we can and play smart. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Coach, how important is it to have a strong running game to be competitive in this team?
What was the question again?
How important is it to have a strong running game to be competitive?
Strong running game? Well, it's pretty important every time you play to have a strong running game. Well, especially this week or any week. But we also understand that sometimes you can't just run up and down the field, that you better be pretty good throwing the ball unless you can just totally dominate the line of scrimmage, which doesn't happen often. Occasionally it does, but not very often. So we always shoot for balance and interceptions, except that one little one against Furman, has not been a problem with our team this year that much. So we just hopefully can take care of the ball, but we got to take our chances. We can't go out there and run 3 up the middle up against Alabama, although I know Ron wants us to, but we can't run 3 up the middle and go up and down the field. It won't happen. Nobody's done that against those guys. So we got to mix it up, but we still have to run. We know that.
A lot of players from their team last year on defense left, and new starters and so forth. Kids like Cody and Wayne. Are they doing anything different schematically this year? Do you see any real changes from last year to this year in their team?
Not particularly. They have their style of defense with some man-to-man, some zone. But basically, just guys are in position, tackle well, cover well, things like that. And really, they look very similar to last year's guys.
Coach, you talked about how big and strong Alabama is. Is this game more of a mental challenge than it is a physical challenge?
Oh, I don't know about that. Our guys, I think, will be ready to play. We actually, last year they were undefeated and everything, and we were in the game and didn't play all that great. We had some chances for touchdowns that we did not get, and but we were actually in the game there until fourth quarter. But still, we only got beat by 14, I guess. But we didn't score touchdowns. We had 3 drives and got 2 field goals last year. And usually, if you're going to have a chance to upset a team, you got to score touchdowns. And Alabama's been pretty good about the other team getting down on about the 3 or 4 inch line and not scoring. Florida was down there twice last week and did not get a touchdown in the game. And they were inside the 1 twice. Texas was inside the 1. The opening drive of the national championship game didn't score. So just because you're down there close doesn't mean you're going to get a touchdown against Alabama. Those guys, they're not going to concede anything to you. So to be in the game, we've got to score TDs if we can, instead of kicking field goals from short range. And actually happened to us last year. We couldn't score down there a couple times.
Coach, going back to Coach Sia, if he does not follow what you're telling him, will he be on a short leash?
Well, we'll see how the game goes. We want Stephen to play well and just take care of the ball. And really, basically, his fumbles have been the only problem. He's played pretty decently. Yeah, but obviously, you can't just run in there blindly and get hit hard and fumble. So we're going to try to get that corrected and go from there. But Connor is, he's ready to play too. So we're hoping and believing Stephen can take care of the ball just a little bit better.
Coach, can you talk about the matchup with your receivers, specifically Alshon with Alabama's secondary?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they just play against us like they do everybody else, which actually most teams do. Every now and then they may run some kind of man-to-man with a safety over the top of Alshon. We did see that late in the game at Auburn, a little different scheme just for him. But other than that, most teams usually play their scheme of defense and go from there. But I got a feeling they'll know where Alshon is most every play, because we have thrown more of our downfield passes toward him. So it could be important to get the other guys involved if we can, a little bit more.